There was once a man who had 2 sons. The younger of them, filled with a restless fire, came to his father one day. The air was thick with tension, his voice sharp with demand. "Father," he said, "give me the share of property that is coming to me." The father, his face etched with a quiet, deep pain, but his eyes full of love, did as his son asked. He divided his property between them, a silent act of letting go. Not many days later, the younger son gathered all he had. He packed his finest clothes, his mind already far away, dreaming of a life without rules, a life of his own making. He journeyed to a distant country, a place shimmering with promise. There he wasted his entire inheritance in wild, reckless living. His days were a blur of extravagant parties, endless laughter, and friends who appeared as quickly as his money flowed. He wore the most luxurious fabrics, adorned himself with glittering jewelry, and was always the center of attention. Life was a vibrant, exhilarating feast, and he never thought it would end. But it did. The money ran out. The vibrant colors of his world began to fade. A severe famine struck that country, and he found himself in desperate need. His once polished clothes grew wrinkled and worn. The friends who had celebrated with him vanished like morning mist. The laughter died, replaced by a hollow silence. He was alone. Desperate for work, he hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him into his fields to feed pigs. The stench of the mud and the hunger in his belly were a constant, brutal reminder of how far he had fallen. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. He was invisible, forgotten, dressed in filthy rags, barefoot and broken. He hit rock bottom. It was there, in the filth and the silence, that he finally came to his senses. He thought, "How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread? And I am here, starving to death." A flicker of hope ignited in his soul. "I will arise and go to my father," he decided, the words a fragile prayer. He rehearsed his speech over and over on the long, dusty road home. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants." With every step, his head bowed in shame, his hands trembling. He prepared to face the rejection he believed he deserved. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him. His heart filled with compassion, the father forgot his own dignity, his age, his quiet grief. He ran toward his broken, filthy son. He threw his arms around him and kissed him, tears of joy streaming down his face. The son began his rehearsed apology. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy." But his father cut him off. He wouldn't even let him finish. Turning to his servants, the father commanded, "Quick! Bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet, and bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let us eat and celebrate, for this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." As the clean robe covered his rags, as the ring restored his identity, and the sandals covered his tired, bare feet, a wave of warm light flooded the scene. The sounds of music and celebration filled the air. Shame collapsed under the weight of an overwhelming, undeserved mercy. Grace had run faster than shame, and it had brought him home.